What is up, YouTube watchers? Man, it's been a while. Today's Friday. Had a class today. Instead of going to work, we had to go take a course, 6 hours, child mental health awareness, basically. It was just a class on, like, being able to identify child crisis and stuff like that. If you're in the educational field or custodial field, you take that course and then you take a quiz and you get a certificate or something just to show you know what to do in a situation like that when a child needs help, suicidal or something. If you're thinking suicidal thoughts, get help. You're more important than dying. You're more important to live. But anyway, that's work stuff. Oh, you're probably wondering why this car is over here again. This car was over there. I dragged it over here, hooked a chain up to it, picked it up with the back of a tractor and brought it over here. Man, I don't know. My mind is all over the place. This is the OG. My mom was in elementary school when my grandparents bought this thing. And I really would like to get it back together. An old school DD Speed Shop car on the channel. This thing is not in bad shape. Like the trunk, everything from the outside looks good. But it's like the bottom of this trunk lid, it's got rust holes all in it. But it's still solid. So I'm just going to fiberglass over that. I'm not replacing the trunk lid just because of those rust holes. And like the doors and everything, they all work. Some of them, they got some rot in the bottom of them, but as far as this car goes, the dog leg, it's not bad. And I thought that was a dent right there. You see that? I thought that was a dent, but that's the body line. You can see the body line right there. But I mean, the doors shut good. I mean, they're a little rough. I think these front ones shut better. Again, look at the rockers. Doors, this one's a little bit better. It does have some rot. It will need some rust preventative spray or stuff on it. Seat belts are still in it. Interior is not. Look at the floor pan. It's slightly, very, very slightly thin right here. Actually, no, it's still pretty solid. I'll probably just coat that. It does have some evidence of mouse in here. I might have to take this dash back out. Clean it up. It's got the back seats in it. There's what's left of the driver's side door panel. I don't know why. I had to take that off because that door wouldn't open. But, this car's been sitting up since probably the early 80s. Just sitting in a pasture, down in the dirt. That's what really caused all the rust. And sorry, spiderweb got my face. Damn, spiderweb's all over this car. But anyway, it's sitting really high right now because it has Continental springs in the back. I put that Ford 9-inch in the back, as you can see it right there. And I don't have everything hooked up, so I mean, this thing needs to go down about 10 inches. I need to cut half them springs out. Cut half off that spring. And then I got the front just kind of blocked up. Here's what I'm thinking. And I know this is probably blasphemy. I'm thinking, what if this thing was 6.0 powered, LS powered, just to get this thing on the road? Again, there's the window sticker. You can barely... The window sticker's basically gone. It's an 8 of something. I don't know. It's gone. But it's been off the road for a long time. It still has most of the wiring here for the instrumentals and stuff. And I got that 6.0 in that truck over there I could put in it. I've got it figured out where the VATS doesn't work. Unplug the body control module while it's running. And then I can unplug the body harness to the fuse block. Just a couple of wires, it'll start right up. But I'm thinking, would that engine fit in here where this tire is? Would the truck headers fit down in here? Surely I can't get that lucky. I don't know. I mean, we have all the beginnings of a car here. And yeah, parts for this thing are stupid expensive. And it's missing parts that my dumb ass probably lost when I was a kid, taking this thing apart like an idiot. You know, this reflector, this end cap here, this stuff. This thing isn't screwed in all the way, but it does have the tail lights in it. That tail light is in the trunk. Hopefully nothing fell out on the road. I don't know. I see some other stuff back there. I'll come back in another video where I will pop the trunk on this thing and we'll see. Maybe I can pop the trunk right now. Well, let me cut the video and look for some tools. All right, got the proper tool. This lock back here, I do remember, was completely froze up. I had the keys. I have the keys to the ignition, but who knows where the keys to the doors and trunk are. We can never find them. So up in there, I think right in there, I think. There it is. Just kind of twist that to the side. And as you can see, typical trunk floor delete. It's not that bad. I mean, it is bad, but I'm thinking weld something in here, and yeah, some bolts did end up down there. But looks like my brake calipers are up there. Those are the Continental brake calipers. Some other stuff over there. There's my grease gun I was always looking for that I've already replaced. Some mixed matched body mounts there. Some other stuff there. Brake lines on the inside. The one piece that I don't see that I really need, I don't know what I did with it, is this freaking gas door. I don't know what happened to that gas door right there. But anyway, as you can see back here, under here, I mean, I don't even think it's rotted underneath this little trim right here. This window is still solid. Like when you push this window from that way, it's stuck. It's still solidly secured to the body of the car. And you can see here what I'm talking about. Let me find it. Yeah, up there. You see all this? All that, and then all this right here. I think all that's rusted out because of this freaking weather stripping. I think water just sat in here. Well, this thing sat out in the field for years and years. But that's it right there, you know. That's from the outside you can't even tell. And I mean under here, I mean it's not bad. It's a freaking stick growing through the trunk lid. A little bit right there. Nothing on that side. A little bit right there. Not much on this side. Don't see anything. I'm thinking about just splashing all this stuff with a rust converter. And then, I don't know, fiberglassing over all of it. I mean, the trunk itself. Well, there. You gotta kind of slam it, but it shuts. Shuts pretty decent. I think I need to tap some of the hinges up because this side's sitting kind of low right here. This side's sitting kind of low. It may need to be adjusted in the middle. You can kind of see, who knows, it's just rusty. I need to really power wash this thing and clean it up. Get all this barn dust off of it. Ah, man. Let's see, did this door lock back? Yeah, that door locked back. And pretty solid pretty solid floors in this car. The doors are so-so. I'm just gonna clean the doors up the best I can. You know, if everything's got a little bit of surface rust on it. I think one of these below the windshield, yeah, look, like right here, you can kind of see all this that's rusted right here. This is rusted right here. I mean, it's still solid, but I'm thinking about just splashing that with some rust converter. And under there, I mean, the windshield area is not rusted out. It's rusted out in just certain areas, and other areas are good. That trim. Okay, that trim is on too. I gotta find, I don't want to put this side trim on, none of the side trim on. The back, this window trim I will have on. I will locate some, like I said, I used to have this side mirror. I don't know what I did with it when I was a stupid kid. It's probably left back at our old place in Lufkin. It's gone by now. But get a side mirror for it. I think it has a rear view mirror. Cut this out over here, put a side mirror over here. You know, for the future, today, we like to have 2 side mirrors, not just one. But, I think the rear view mirror is somewhere in here, because I think it was tied in to the sun visors and everything, and all that stuff's back there. I'll have to make another video. Oh, there's a new brake hose, probably from 10 years ago. But I'll have to make another video on taking everything out of this car. I mean, it ain't gonna have AC or heat unless I do vintage air, which I ain't got the money for that shit. But anyway, this front end has been blocked off for a long time now. I took that ginormous AC box out. And I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if the LS would be able to fit in here. See, I don't know if the oil pan will fit right in this area right here. And I don't think those headers will fit. I know this is going to be in the way. This side's pretty much straight. I'll have to see how wide that engine is and how those headers are. But I think I'm just dreaming, thinking those headers are going to fit. But you know what has to happen to see if any of that shit will fit. You had to pull a motor out and hover here with the engine crane and see how it will fit in there. First, I gotta disassemble this thing, clean it all up. These flat wheels off. I don't know why these wheels went flat. Well, I know that one, it's probably this one too, is leaking around the bead. I probably need to have these dismounted and clean up the bead areas, because you can see the backs, those back wheels are factory to that Continental I had probably a year ago, and they have held air up ever since I moved this car over there, which has probably been a year. And these went flat instantly. And what's funny is beforehand, I don't know if it was this one or that one, beforehand, one of these tires did hold air with the old tires. And then when I swapped these 2 tires on here, they both don't hold air. So that tells me the bead's probably dirty or something. And these tires are pretty tall. I don't know what the factory size tire is, but they look awfully big for this car. Because again, I want this car to be slammed. I don't want it to be all hiked up like a 4x4. Like it's going to ramp some cars like in a Gone in 60 Seconds HB Halicki movie. I mean, that would be cool and all, but I want this thing to be low and sleek. And again, I'll just have to see. I have to pull those springs out and just set it all the way down and see how far it'll go down. But as of now, I think it's got a pretty good bit of room under there. I did convert this to a 4-link. I cut one of the links off that Continental and welded it on that rear end. So now it's got 4 links on it. Again, everything's just thrown together under there. I'll have to get this thing blocked up and really go over it and see what I'm missing. And I don't know why there's a rust hole right here. It's weird. That's the only rust hole in the actual outside of the body. I have to patch that up and find a freaking gas door. But anyway, I need to hurry up and go back over there. I need to get the front end of this thing. I think we'll finish off with that. I'll get the front end thrown back on it, at least for now. I picked a great weekend to do this because Sunday and Monday, it's Friday now. Sunday and Monday, there's a chance of flooding and rain, another slight cold front that's coming through, so this will have to be moved. So I brought it over here just to be moved again. that's how it goes. But anyway, let me go over there, get the front clip thrown back on this thing, and then we'll end the video with that. And I'd like to see some comments. What do you think about a 6.0 in this thing if I can get it to fit? The real issue is, will the oil pan fit right there? And I know you can buy custom oil pans. I really don't want to do that because I know you can buy like a front mount oil pan, which would make sense because on an LS motor, the oil pump is in the front, so it'd be a straight shot down. But I'd rather just drop the motor in here as is. And I would love it if those truck headers fit, which that I think would be an issue. And looking at it now, this is awful narrow, so I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, let me shut up and go get that front end to throw back on it. All right, now I got the front end on it. Man, that was a lot of work. It's just kind of thrown on there. Nothing's bolted on. Bumpers are back there. Not to that point yet. All this has to come back off because at the end of this weekend, it's supposed to rain, and I want to get this put back there. But anyway, this is about where I want it to sit. You see how low it is. I'll walk around to the other side. The rear suspension arms aren't at a crazy angle like this. This rear tire looks like it needs to go back that way. Probably have to do something custom there. But yeah, probably a little higher on this side, a little bit up. I don't want it sitting down that low. And definitely these tires are too big. I will have to find something a little bit smaller than these, just a little bit smaller diameter. But again, this is just thrown together just to get an idea of what it looks like. The front clip is not bolted on. I mean, this thing would be mean with the 6-liter LS motor, LQ9. Get the wheels painted black, maybe some dog dish hubcaps. I don't know, smaller tires. Get some new rubber thrown on them. But that's way down the road. I still got to get the rear end set up. That rear end has not been touched, opened up at all since I got it out from underneath that Continental that was sitting in the field. So I really need to pull that rear end out, tear it all apart. It's wider than the rear end that came out of this car, but I think it'll be okay. Because sitting down this low, I want it to be a little bit higher, and it don't seem like these big wheels touch too much. They don't touch anything. And with lower profile tires, it'll be even better. I mean, you can just tell just from this front wheel, that tire looks way too big, just my opinion. Just something a little bit lower profile. But anyway, that's going to conclude this video. I know I'm all over the place. I'm supposed to be doing a system on that truck. What's going to happen to Constance? She's probably going to get parted out because this is the family car right here. My mom grew up in this car, went to school in this car. My mom drove this her senior year to the school I'm working at. And I would love to drive this back to that school one day. It will be over 40 years since this car has been to that school. So what do you think about that? I don't know. I think that's more important than that damn truck back there. But again, I got to pull the motor out. I got to slip the motor in here, do a bunch of screwing around and stuff and see how it fits. I know I'm just dreaming thinking the headers are going to fit, but man, that'd be sweet if those headers fit. I got the cross member back there. That 6-liter 4L65 should be about the same length as like a 302 C4. So maybe the cross member won't have to be modified that much. It'd be nice if it just sat in here. Fuel system, well, I'll just have to do, the trunk needs to be redone anyway, so probably some kind of, I don't really want to get the factory fuel tank because that's expensive. And I can get like a cheap eBay fuel cell for like $80 to put back there, strapped down somewhere back there. I mean, you can see the ground back there, so you can just set it in there and build something and run some line all the way up to the front or something. And the good thing about this car is all the fuel lines are way out here away from the exhaust, so I can just run them up that way to the engine. Just do a 90 off the fuel rail. Be a little bit safer than running it by the exhaust. But okay, now I'm rambling. It's getting dark. So, I don't know. Leave comments. Leave opinions. Is it blasphemy putting a LS motor in this Ford car? I don't care. I mean, if somebody would give me a Godzilla motor and I don't know what 8-10 speed transmission, but that's too fancy for this. That 6-liter 4L65 will throw this thing around good enough. You know, I'm kicking myself in the head because I don't know what I did with these park lamps. I know they're back in Lufkin somewhere and they're gone now. And man, they are several $100s to find. That's all I need to complete this front end. The taillights are in decent shape. You can get taillights off eBay, you know, new old stock. The glow bright taillights, they're like a couple $100s a piece for the lenses. You can put something together back there. But I know I watched some other channels and they were just going to take them out and put trailer lights back there. I don't want the factory taillights, the factory headlights, all this stuff. So when this car's driving behind you, you just see these old incandescent bulbs or whatever. I ain't gonna be driving this car much anyway, if it ever gets running. And like I said, I'm not doing the trim on the body. I'm having this no trim right here. This trim can stay because it looks goofy without it. But I'm just gonna cut off all these things here, weld in these holes and smooth it. I believe this color is sage green. I'd like to touch up some spots on this hood that are rusty. Just, I don't know, or leave it. The rust is starting to get pretty heavy on these parts, you know, because it's been a few years. So I really need to get some stuff, some rust killer, some stuff, just splash everything in rust killer, you know. But I'd like to see if I could use the Hydro Boost off that truck, because I know some Continentals had Hydro Boost. I think that one I had Hydro Boost. So it should be the same unit. It's just getting it to work with these disc brakes and those drum brakes, unless I just use these disc brakes and convert that to disc brakes, the rear disc brakes later, which I might have to do that. But I think that Hydro Boost, if I can get all that stuff to fit under here. The steering is going to be the only thing. The steering, I don't know what I'm going to do about the steering. That's going to interfere with a lot of stuff, especially that big gearbox right there. I don't even think this thing, I can't look at it now because all this stuff will fall apart if I take the hood off. But I think this is a manual steering car. And if I remember correctly, it was manual brakes, manual windows. So yeah, all it had was automatic transmission. But anyway, okay, I'm going to go ahead and end this video because it is getting really dark now. So let me know what you think. Is this blasphemy, or is this going to be a DD Speed Shop thing, which is what I want? I've been watching more and more of DD Speed Shop. I mean, I watch all of his videos, but man, it really makes me want to just save these old cars. You know, this car has been parked on that property back in that field for so long. It would just be neat to get this thing back out on the road, and who cares what it's powered with? Like I said, that 6-liter will throw this thing around just fine. And next thing, I guess next video on this car, I'll dive into the factory wire harness, see what works under here, see what works here, just see what works. And there's fresh mouse poop in there, so next video on this thing will be taking everything out of it, cleaning it, you know. But anyway, okay, again, ending this video. So let me know what you think. You guys have a great day or night.